site of the Battle of Flodden, which was fought in 1513 between Scotland and England, and it was one of the most important, most brutal, most bloody battles ever fought on British soil. It was the last medieval battle fought in Britain, and it was the last time that a king in Britain, Scotland or England or Wales, died on the battlefield. James IV of Scotland died here on this hill almost 506 years ago. So we're looking towards Scotland there, and the English army's positioned on that hill, while the Scottish army is on that hill, and they faced each other over this kind of a valley, which at the time, 500 years ago, was very boggy, very marshy, very difficult to fight in. I mean, it's not so bad now, it's been drained, there's new drainage ditches, but it used to be a terrible place for the battle. And the Scottish army, perhaps impetuously, they charged down the hill into the bog, and the English army could then, therefore, come down the hill with their pikes and their longbows, particularly important the longbow in this situation, and attack the Scottish army in the boggy ground at the bottom of the hill. Also, the Scots were using pikes, long pikes, while the English had bills, which are a much more effective weapon in a battle of manoeuvring. The pike was better for defending against cavalry, and was good when used in tight, disciplined formations, but it wasn't much good in this kind of a hand-to-hand battle that the Scots were being forced to fight. Here's a Scottish and English soldier showing you how they were equipped. Here's the Scotsman with his pike, 18 foot long or 5.5 metre long pike, whereas the English soldier there has the much shorter bill hook, 8 foot, 2.4 metres long. Much better for close quarter combat, where you can't really get moved, where you can't manoeuvre yourself. Now here we are at the bottom of the battlefield. We've got the English lines up there behind me, and over that way the Scottish lines, and down in the middle you've got this ditch, this very boggy, marshy land down in the middle between two hills, and there's a drainage ditch now just over the fence, but at the time this was a very wet, sodden piece of ground. And the Scots had their pike staffs, very long, about 6 spears long pike staffs, which are good in close formation, but the English had much shorter bill hooks, which you could easily swing and slash and stab with. So the Scots had better range, much longer weapons, but the English could swing them about and get in close. Now when you're stuck, trapped in the bog, in the marsh down here as the Scots were, the bill hook that the English had was much more effective. Much better to have a weapon that you could easily manoeuvre, easily slash and attack with, rather than the more defensive pike that the Scots had. And that was absolutely crucial to the outcome of the battle. Firstly, you had the King, James IV, the Scottish king, came charging down the hill to attack the English up the hill, down this hill into the bog, and then he was going to go up the hill, up towards Surrey, up there on the top of the hill. But they couldn't do that, they got stuck here, and the English longbows, when they got stuck, they managed to pick off so many of the Scots army in the valley, and Surrey's billhook equipped soldiers came down the hill and successfully attacked the Scots trapped here. And it was probably, or may have been, James not really understanding the difficulties that the Scots would face on this ground, because this ground, as I said previously, the English had managed to sweep behind the Scots and choose the battlefield, and the experienced commanders of the English army, they realised that they would have the advantage if they forced the impetuous, or encouraged the more impetuous James IV to attack them in this field. Here on this interpretation panel, you can see why the battlefield here is so wet. You've got these two totally different areas, geological areas, with the groundwater draining into this ditch, which is now dealt with by this drainage ditch to take the water away. But at the time, this is essentially a bog, a marsh, all filled with water. So the English on top of that hill, Branxton Hill, they watched as the Scots came down from Flodden over here, up Branxton Hill, and then down into the marsh, and got stuck there. And Surrey, the Earl of Surrey, the English commander, saw this happening and decided he would wait for the impetuous James IV to get stuck in the bog before he sent his billhook-equipped soldiers down there and attack with longbows as well. Now this is a very good interpretation panel here. We're right up above the battlefield now. We've got a good view of where it took place. So here we are amidst the left flank of the Scottish army with Hume and Huntly there. See the two earls there. Well, Hume was warden of the East March, so he should have known this battlefield very well. He should have been here many times and conducted his reaving raids into England quite often. Now, Hume and Huntly, who knew this ground well, they managed to attack down the slope, attack the Earl of Surrey's forces over there, in that lighter coloured field, roughly. And they were very successful. They managed to attack, and they really devastated the forces of Lord Howard over there. The rest of the Scottish army, there's the king himself with the lion rampant, and all the others, Argyll and Montrose and Bothwell and so on. They saw this happening. They saw this excellent attack down the slope, and they decided that they were going to march down this hill as well. So they decided that they would march down the hill, not realising that here in the centre, in the valley, was very boggy, very marshy ground, boggy ground, very, very difficult to fight in. The rest of the English army, they held their positions. Now the Scottish guns, the cannons, because we're up so high here, we're up so high, you can't really point a cannon downwards. So they were firing over the English. The Scottish cannons couldn't do very much. The English decided to wait and allow the king to attack down the hill. They then fired their longbows. You can aim a longbow down. So they managed to attack the Scottish forces with their longbows. When the Scots got stuck, I suspect they were waiting for the Scots to go down the hill and then have to climb back up again. But they didn't have to wait for that. They waited here and they saw that the Scottish were stuck in the boggy ground. Then they charged down the hill and attacked them in the boggy ground. And you can see here, these are the Scottish lines here, you can see they're very, very long pike staffs. In the distance, on the ridge, you've got the English with their much shorter, you probably can't see, but much shorter billhooks. Much better for fighting in the boggy ground where you can't get moved. The Scots saw that they were winning, and they were encouraged. They decided that they would charge down the hill in an undisciplined fashion, probably, which is not good when you've got these very long pikes. On this interpretation panel you can see the Scottish army getting ready to attack. At this point of the battle, the Scots are very confident, larger force, they've got what they think are very good weapons. They've seen Hume and Huntly attack over there very successfully. defeating the Earl of Howard, and they're in a very good mood, and they're ready to charge down the hill towards the English and set up a devastating Scottish victory. This interpretation panel is called the Killing Fields, and as it says, this is where all the death happened, essentially. Right in the middle, in this boggy ground, here is the drainage ditch. You can see a bit of water there, now a modern drainage ditch. But at the time, this is all bog, marsh, and this is where the Scottish Army got stuck and was finished off. So this is where, yeah, all the people, 14,000 men or so, died in this ditch. Mostly Scots killed here because they foolishly, impetuously charged down their hill, Flodden Hill, and they had the wrong weapons. They had their pike staffs, where the English army had their longbows and their billhooks. And they were tired from getting stuck in the mud. They had the wrong weapons, and yeah, they were outfought and outmaneuvered, and they died. In fact, so many people died, they actually had a greater rate of death here than at the Battle of the Somme, which gives you an indication of how much blood was spilled here, how many dead bodies are here.